All right, everybody. Good morning. A couple of minutes off time here, but hey, it's Monday. Anyways, December 17th, 2018, guys. This is Jack Gleason from Major League Trading, and this is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. Economic reports this week. Let's highlight Wednesday, 2 p.m. FOMC rate hike is scheduled, 76% probability, I believe, somewhere around there that happens. So leading up into Wednesday, guys, Wednesday is the most important day of the week, and the following, Thursday, Friday, we're really going to be able to see what this market has in store to the end of the year. Before the bell at 8:30 a.m., New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. After the bell, you know what? I didn't share this, did I? Okay, I'm gonna end it. Good morning, guys. Jack Gleason here with MajorLeagueTrading.com. It is about just past 8 o'clock, December 17th, 2018. This is a reminder to follow your rules and trade your plan. Economic reports, guys, this week, 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and then 2:30 we're gonna have the press conference on Wednesday. Obviously, that's today's Monday. I'm just highlighting that event because it is going to be the most important market moving news of the week, and possibly it's going to be the most important news for the rest of the year. We don't have many days left, but that's something we're really going to want to pay attention to. Before the bell at 8:30 a.m. we had New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. After the bell, we're going to have the housing market index at 10 a.m. and 11:30 3-month and 6-month bill auctions. Trend biases of the prior day: ES, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, bearish. Overnight, ES, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, bearish. Shorter term time frame, bearish every market. And on the midterm time frame, ES is bearish, NASDAQ is neutral, the Dow is bearish, and the Russell is bearish. Longer term time frame, ES bearish, NASDAQ bearish, Dow bearish, Russell bearish. Previous day's summary for the S&P 500. Let me pull it up here for you guys. The bell-to-bell high of the prior day, 2639.75, with the bell-to-bell low coming in at 25.97.25. Settlement was 2605 half. Value area high 2630 half, value area low 2604 quarter, with the point of control at 2605.75. European close 2621 half. Volume on the session was 1,321,000 contracts. Overnight high in the S&P all the way up at 2616.75. New overnight low just put in 2590 half. 2590 half, new overnight low. Support and resistance levels, pivot points: R4A 2690 half, R3 2673 half, R2 2656.75, R1 26 I believe it's 2630 half. 2631. The pivot point for the day, 2614 quarter. S1 coming really close to trading, 2588. We're gonna look for S2 next, down at 2571.75, S3 2546, and then S4A 2520. Those levels are obviously well below where we are currently trading. Index strength percentage change from settlements for the trading days only. The previous day, the NASDAQ was the weakest market, down 2.26%. S&P down 1.64%, Dow down 1.86%, Russell 1.4%. And over the last 5 days, the Russell's been the weakest market, and relatively speaking, the NASDAQ was the strongest over a 5-day period. But all of these markets are down on a 5-day period. All of these markets are down on a 10-day period, and 20-day period and 60-day period. They're all down as well. NASDAQ, the last market hanging on to a year-to-date return that is positive. The only market to have a positive year-to-date return right now is the NASDAQ, so we'll have to see where that's at the end of the year. The Russell would need to rally 8% before the end of the year to turn positive. S&P and Dow right around 2.5%, so that can happen today with these markets. Let's take a look at what we got here, guys. Once again, I just want to go, I'm going to back out just to kind of start this off. We'll go with the S&P 500 and just mention, we really want to continue to pay attention to where are the bigger downside targets. And I covered this in a video last week just because I wanted you guys to be aware of, you know, there are some much bigger profit targets here to the downside that we continue to work our way into. The full halfway back short for the year, which is September 21st, that high to the low of the 29th of October, traded two tests of its 50% retracement targets 25.21. Okay, call it 25.22 because it's 25.21.75. That is the higher time frame profit target. Now, moving inside of that on the hourly chart, and this is the one we can be concerned of this week. Last week's, or now it's 2 weeks ago, the December 3rd low to low sequence is going to target 25.38. It's going to target 25.38 here, okay? And then I have only two support levels below, 25.69, which could come into play here today. We need another about 23-point drop. And then below that, I do have a target or a support level of 25.36. And those are weekly Fibonacci supports. Other than that, guys, there's really no support. Everything else has to be confirmed. We can obviously have reversals, but you know, reversals are something that is easier seen in hindsight. You don't really want to be anticipating reversals. So current downside target that we consolidated at the 50% here in the S&P on Tuesday and Wednesday is 25.38. So I do expect, and I would like to see that hit preferably before FOMC, but maybe it happens after. I do not know. So that is a downside target where this market is gunning for, and we are right back at the lows of last week on Monday that we reversed. We are right back at those lows. Now, coming out of the highs, the reversal last week, Wednesday, he had a halfway back short completed, and then you had another halfway back short that completed, that high to low completed, and then that high to low is currently what we're holding. So right now, the current sequence that I see is the 50% retracement from the high here, 10 o'clock on Friday, to that Sunday night low. Okay, and that's where this 26.17 resistance level. If this breaks, I would expect us to just come full halfway back short. Okay, so if we get above that, there's just another resistance level above. Don't get excited if we get above that. There's just another resistance level above. Right now, I'm just looking at, this is a low from the overnight to low sequence. This is what we have right now, just going on a smaller time frame. But I'm not going to pay too much attention to that because that'll change with a lot of variance. All right, so we just ran into that 38% retracement. But right now, guys, downside targets are intact. If we rally, look for the full halfway back short from the high of last Wednesday to low to come into play. There really isn't, as far as the hourly time frame goes, and I'm concerned, there is no support trades that we have confirmed. No support trades that we have confirmed. All right. 96 quarter. Moving on now to the Russell, which is in a more aggressive. We're already through the lows here in the Russell, so we're more aggressive than we are in the S&P. The Russell had some of the best short setups last week. So the low, once again, December low to low is the sequence, and that downside target, let me also go out to the daily. The Russell is coming into a double target here. Okay, the Russell, and I believe are we through the low of the year? The Russell is through the low of 2018. The Russell is through the low of 2018. On the higher time frame, you know, it's too bad. I'll have to actually pull up the IW. I'm just going to pull up the IW. The RTY data no longer goes back, okay? Because the RTY used to be the TF up until, I don't know, some point last year, I believe they switched. But this was one of the most technical futures contracts on the higher time frame. The TF was on like weekly pullbacks. I believe there was a 50% retracement. Yeah, so the low of 2007 here, guys. Look how technical this is, and I don't think I've gone over this because I haven't gone over the IWM, but I used to go over the Russell futures, which was the TF. Now I can't do that because the TF doesn't exist. However, if you go to the IWM, this is the ETF. This is like the SPY for the Russell, and this is a really important sequence I want you guys to be aware of. The low of, I think that's 2011 to the high of 2015 pulled halfway back post like 2016, beginning of the year. And then we began to just rip, roar, rally. The negative 61.8% completion was 171.75. 171.75. Now we dipped a couple points into that, guys, but we see we have 1 week that got above that level, and it has been a sell-off ever since. So we can fully expect the Russell to come halfway back long from the lows of 2016 to high. We can fully expect that to happen. In fact, I actually already have an alert here. Must have forgot about, but that is 133.32. So that is basically equivalent to another 70-point drop in the RTY. So another 70-point drop. 131.32 would be like I think it'd be like 130. I really don't know. I really don't know what that would equate to here in the RTY futures contract, so I'll pay attention to it. But I imagine it'd be like 113 or 1313 or something, I think, or 1310 maybe. I don't know, to be honest. But downside targets here in the Russell, and really what we'll just focus on. So that low of Monday to low of Monday to low has a downside target of 1395, and then there's a 1397.4 downside target as well from the daily chart that is coming into play. So we're taking out the lows of 2018. We are through them. Low of the year. I don't see this often. In fact, we haven't seen in a while, especially this late in the year for the indexes. That downside target's gonna be right below, but then there's a possibility that this week we begin to see extensions from the previous swing low on October 26th. So just something kind of bigger to pay attention to here. Let me go over the NASDAQ next. NASDAQ full 50% retracement short from the high of the third to low, halfway back was 68.30, call it 68.39. Downside target is 63.91. NASDAQ's hanging on the best here. So far, it's hanging on the best. But that downside target 63.91, and with that FOMC this week, that's a for sure possibility. Right now, general area of resistance I'm looking at, just the halfway back short area from the swing high on Friday. So that intraday high, that high to the most recent low, guys, looking for us to continue to stay below that level here, in the NASDAQ, all right? And that's really the only, and that's up at 66.60 half. And that's really the higher level I'd be paying attention to. For the Dow, go to the hourly chart. You can see once again the Dow real close to lows here. The Dow extension, same thing. December 3rd low to low. Downside targets is 23,471. 23,471. All right, so watch that. 23,471. Okay, so that's where we could be heading here this week. Now, as far as the sequence goes, same sequence, different market. We got that swing high from Friday, high to low. Traded in that 50% retracement, guys. That downside target is 23,905. We want to be aware of that downside target. When we hit these targets, okay, what are we looking for? Just that next swing high to low. These setups are, you know, like 1 or maybe 2 a day. But guys, those are the best setups. These are the ones like you got to be a little patient for. But like this target here, from the entry at 24,241 to this target, that's a was a 300 and some point profit target. So, you know, you're talking one trade, 300 points in the Dow. So they're coming few and far between, but they're really like running to target. So you guys, you really got to be patient. Everything else here is just like a little bit of scalping opportunity. But there's those bigger levels, and I'll continue to point them out when they trade. Moving on to the gold market, we had a nice breakdown Friday. Big halfway back long from the low of the 30th of November to high. Great reaction. We got above that previous leg start. In the overnight session, we've held the halfway back long here. I'd like to see us. We haven't quite completed. We've gotten close here at this 1246.1. Once we complete, I'm going to look at the low of the week here. Too high for your next pullback. So need a little bit more of a bid to complete that level, and once we do, then I will look at that, you know, low of the week too high. So I'm going to set an alert at that 1246.1. Wait for that to complete. That's going to tell me that I have my next setup coming. Until that completes, I'm just watching. I'm just watching here. Okay. For oil, the only market I haven't gone over, we had rollover, so market looks a little choppy. I don't have much interest in this the way it is. This is a huge range. You know, you could just, I would watch the top of the range right now, 52.77, and the bottom of the range right now, call it 50.80 to 50 half. Right now it is a range in between those levels. I would not look for any type of a swing here. The only opportunities would be, you know, if you really want to come down, and you got to analyze this smaller time frame here. Okay, you got to analyze this smaller time frame here. So like, boom, you get a breakdown. Oh, you have an extension short trade. Okay, it trades once, trades twice, but like that's not the type of action I really like to analyze. So if you want to trade it, you got to trade it on the smaller time frame. Still plenty of intraday opportunity going on in oil, but as far as like an hourly trend, you know, you have basically what's been a massive downtrend, and we are just consolidating sideways in a halfway back short that has a downside target of 47.43. And that's from the swing high of the 16th of November to low. So I'll share these levels with you guys, and then we'll start the MLT Power Hour. And weekend was good, man. No complaints here. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend and are ready to trade and execute with some discipline here. But thank you for watching the MLT Morning Trade Plan. If you enjoyed this content, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm 15 subscribers away from 10,000, which is pretty cool. And if you're serious about learning to trade, check out our courses. Remember, guys, to pursue trading with passion, remove self-doubt, and succeed with effort. Everybody have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the morning power hour.